Okay, Last of
Enemies
Us
can become friends.
Season 2, Episode 1 recap. I'm out of the game, so I'll just focus on it. Talk about it here. So we start out with the flashback from the end of Season 1, which I thought was really nice because it shows where we ended, basically. And yeah, it was just good to see this conversation between Ellie and Joel again, where Ellie asks, like, makes him swear that he's not lying to her. Clearly, he is lying to her, and he lies again by swearing he's not lying. So, nice little way to indicate, like, hey, this is what happened at the end. Clearly, some stuff has changed because, you know, Ellie is now, her and Joel are on the outs. So it was good to see that. We then pan to the Fireflies after the desolation Joel has caused in the hospital in St. Mary's, which I know people are mad about this because it's not how it's brought up in the game. Like, there's a lot more mystery around who Abby is and like why she's hunting Joel in the game.
That's 3.
Okay, I thought it was good that they showed the desolation, and like there were real people involved because obviously we just saw Joel murder all these people in the hospital. Like, duh, there were going to be real people involved. There were going to be real people involved. So I thought it was good that they showed that. I also don't think there's a way to create that mystery in the show just because, like, in the game, to me, it felt like there were way more things that Joel did that were just, like, incredibly screwed up. And in the show, we heard people talk about those things, but really the only thing we saw was him the massacre in the hospital. So I don't think there would have been as much of mystery. No, I don't think viewers would have been like, oh, I wonder who's coming after Joel. Like, it would have been pretty obvious, I think, that, oh, it's people from the hospital, duh. Unless you're under the impression that he murdered everyone in the hospital and left no survivors, but regardless. So I didn't really have an issue with them introducing Abby this way. That was fine to me. Next, like I said, we do the jump forward 5 years later, and we see Ellie brawling with this dude who's way bigger than her. And this was a really good scene for me because it just shows that, like, hey, Ellie's grown up. She's not 14 anymore. She's a grown adult. And, like, obviously she's capable now. And that was another thing I wanted to talk about with this scene is they made it, like, very believable, which is hard to do when you have somebody Bella Ramsey's size fighting a massive man. So that made it believable for me, and I enjoyed that aspect of it. After that, we swap over to Joel and Dina talking about the construction plans. Joel's essentially a foreman now, so we are talking about that. And dude, Dina stole this episode for me. Like, she is not. I liked her in the game, of course. She's one of the best characters in the game. But I don't know. This actress really just went over the top with Dina, and she was my MVP of the episode. Now, after that, we learn that Joel's going to therapy, trying to get over what's going on with Ellie. So that was neat. That's a show invention, not in the game, but I mean, Joel definitely needs to go to therapy. I mean, he's a rampaging murderer, so definitely got some stuff to work out. So I thought that was good. Next, we move into Ellie shooting with Tommy, and this was just kind of like them broing out, shooting some infected. There's quite a bit of foreshadowing here, I think. I'm not sure, but when they're talking about, like, oh, there's a lot of them out here. Oh, there's a bunch of infected. Oh, there's a lot of them. And that was pretty ominous, but I thought the conversation between Tommy and Ellie when she's like, oh, you, when Tommy says that her and Joel are the same person, and Ellie's like, well, then if we're the same person, you know you're not winning this, so maybe just give up, because what has happened is Joel's essentially taking her off patrol because she's too reckless, which after some events later in the episode, she is way too reckless. Like, she is going sicko mode on this when he's infected. So she argues with Tommy, gets put back on patrol. She gets assigned to the Alpine Run, which she's very excited about. Next, I think I'm not sure. I'm not going to go through it beat by beat. I'm just going to go through it based off what I remember. Next, I'm pretty sure we go through the therapy session with the worst mom of all time, Catherine O'Hara. Not actually in real life. I just think about Home Alone and how she's not a great mom in that because she leaves her kid twice. But, you know, whatever. Catherine O'Hara is incredible. She does a great job in this scene being Joel's therapist. We find out about Eugene, who's a character from the game, but they kind of changed who he is in the show. Instead of him in the game, he dies of natural causes, but in the show, it's turns out he is Gale's husband, which is also a difference from the game because in the game it's implied that like Gene left his husband, Gene left his wife and his kid to be with the Fireflies. So this was a little bit of a different, like a divergence from that, which I'm fine with. The scene was so good because Catherine O'Hara's character, Gale, has been sitting at her house getting drunk all day because it's her birthday, and she's pissed off because this is her first birthday in 40 years that her husband's not here for. Come to find out, her husband's not there because Joel killed him. Now, Gale makes it very obvious that like Joel had to kill him. So I don't know what the story is there because like I said, it didn't happen in the game, so we'll have to wait and see. Maybe it's a infected situation or something. I'm not sure. But the scene, she basically tells Joel, like, hey, I'm drunk. I'm mad at you for this. Now, I know you're lying. So we've been doing these therapy sessions, but, like, you're just jerking me around. You're not telling me what is actually going on here. And, like, I can't help you unless you're willing to,
How sad.
you know, be honest with me about what's going on. Which is, like, an odd thing for a therapist to do. I mean, it's post-apocalyptic world, so I guess there's things are a little different. But first of all, like, she's drunk, and that's one thing. But then she is like being very, very catty with him, which, like, fair point. She does have a reason to be. That was cool. I enjoyed that scene. You can like tell Joel is like not processing what he did in the hospital because he's like, oh, it's just Ellie's being a teenage girl, and like every teenage girl hates their dad basically, and Gale is like, yeah, but you're not her dad, which is something I think Joel doesn't really having a hard time grasping because I mean he's not, but kind of is at the same time. It's weird, but regardless, she knows he's lying, and he's clearly lying to himself because he's talking about Dina and how she treats him like a human, and like, oh, I'm a good guy. She treats me like a good guy, which I am, by the way. Like, if you're having to say you're a good guy, man, I don't really think you are. So, oh, sorry, I missed the whole scene. That was a therapy scene. I really liked it. It was good. The scene that I missed was the one where he's in the room with Maria, Tommy's wife, and they're kind of just doing logistical planning for the city. And basically they need construction, and like they can't house all the people that are coming in, which was pretty relatable, I think, for stuff that's going on. You know, it's immigration issues essentially. So Joel's like, hey, we can't take any more people, let's just leave them out there. Maria's like, hey, don't forget you were a refugee once too, and we took you in, so blah blah blah. Tommy comes in after he's been shooting with Ellie, and Joel asks like, hey, where you been? And Tommy lies and says, oh, I was shooting, but I was by myself. And I thought that was odd. I don't know what to make of that yet, but I thought that was odd. After the therapy scene, we get they go on the Alpine run. So they're going on patrol with Kat, who is Ellie's ex. And Dina is like, oh, are you going to the dance tonight with Kat? Because like she's the only other one. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. But I mean, I feel like that's probably pretty accurate for a lot of queer people. It's just like, oh, I know two queer people. Don't they date? Like, that seems normal. Regardless, though, they're on the Alpine run, and some of these scenes on the run, I'm gonna be honest, didn't work for me. Like, we get to the market, and this is part of the game, but it's a little different. Ellie and Dina go up in there, and they're just like cracking jokes and like screwing around when there are like two clickers right there. Which I get it, like they're trying to show how reckless Ellie is, and they're doing a good job because I was like mad at Ellie this whole time. I'm like, what are you doing? There are two like insanely like not powerful, but like they're clickers in here. They could kill you at any moment. And then they're like cracking jokes with a knife and everything. The jokes did not work for me. I know some people enjoyed them, but it didn't work for me here. Anyway, they kill the first clicker. Ellie falls through the floor, and then she's like just walking around while Dina's trying to find her, and the stalker appears, which was a new thing from the show. The stalker, like they made this so ominous. Like in the game, you just fall in, you fight a bunch of infected, like no big deal. In the show, though, the stalker is like very clearly smart, like very intelligent. Like it is hiding from Ellie, it's drawing her in. It ends up biting her, which is another gripe I have. Like, Ellie just needs to stop getting, like, it's happening too much. I understand she's immune. We all want to, show that or whatever. But like, I don't need to see her getting bit every other. I don't need to see her getting bit every other episode. So anyway, she gets bit. She has to hide the bite from Dina because obviously no one knows that she's immune, but Tommy, Joel, and I assume Maria knows, but I don't know if that's been confirmed or not yet.
Here they come now.
Next thing, they go back and report to the council, and they're essentially like, hey, this one was intelligent, blah, blah, blah. The council just kind of blows her off, which I don't know. It seems like very important that you would not do that, especially if, you're trying to live through the apocalypse and there's like a new infected that's intelligent. And you're just like, yeah, well, we got to go. Party's in 4 hours, so we got to dip. That was weird to me. I didn't really understand that, but I'm assuming there's a reason. Like, I know I'm griping a little bit about the episode, but I enjoyed it overall.
Wow, 4 in a row.
The next thing we get is Joel coming in to see Ellie before the dance, and he's like asking her if she's gonna go. And this was another thing I clocked, is that like she's told everyone else she is gonna go, but when Joel asks her, she's like, I don't know, maybe. Like, we'll see. You can tell there's like clearly some tension here, and I have to assume that it is about what happened at the end of season 2 with the hospital. Now I don't know if I don't want to speculate too much here, so I might choose my words carefully. I don't know if Ellie is privy to the information that happened at the hospital or not, or if she just knows, like, when someone lies to you and they're lying to you, but you kind of just like blow it off and you're like, it's fine, like whatever, I can deal with it. But after a while, it just starts to wear on you, and you're like, I can't do it anymore. I don't know which it is, but like clearly, to me, there's nothing else that could have put a rift between these two but what Joel did in the hospital, or that Ellie knows he's lying about it at the very least. Conversation is like hella awkward. Joel does not, like, he's trying to hold it out to like see if there's some communication he can have with Ellie, but clearly he doesn't want to talk to her. So he ends up just grabbing the guitar and leaving. And then we flash forward to the dance. I loved that they essentially used the same shots frame for frame on the shot behind Ellie's head with the lights over the top. That was like ripped straight from the game, and that was one of my favorite shots in the game. So I was really happy that they just used that again in the show. At the dance, Jesse and Ellie are talking for a minute, and Jesse was dating Dina, but they broken up, and Ellie's like, oh, you'll be back together within a week. And it's so clear throughout the episode that Ellie has a crush on Dina. Like, it's blatantly obvious. But Jesse's like, I don't know, I don't think so. Like, I think we're really done this time. And Ellie's like, yeah, whatever, sure. Then Dina comes over and is like egging Ellie on. She brings her out to the dance floor. They start dancing. Things heat up super quickly. Like, wow, it gets spicy on the dance floor. They start making out, doing some heavy petting. And there's this like really cool scene, or not scene, but like, I really liked what Bella Ramsey did here, where you can see on her face she's like shocked. Like, I'm sure we've all had this happen where, you like someone, but you're not sure if they like you back. And then like it finally happens and you're like, oh my God, is this real? Am I dreaming? Is this happening? So thought they did a really good job conveying that with their facial expressions and whatnot. So that was cool. They start making out a little too much. And everyone's favorite bigot, Seth, walks up and tells them like, hey, this is a family event. And right here, I was like, he's kind of right. Like they're kind of going ham, right? And they need to chill out. Like this is we're not at a rave, dog. Like, relax. But then, you know, throws out a slur, and that is, you know, you went too far. So he throws out a slur against Ellie and Dina, and Ellie turns around and is like, what the hell? And like starts walking to him like she's gonna really fight him. And I honestly thought she was gonna deck him. All of a sudden, Joel comes out of nowhere and just pushes him to the ground. And Ellie like freaks out on Joel. Like freaks out. Says like, oh, I don't need your help. Like, what are you doing? All this stuff. And she basically like just publicly embarrasses him in front of the whole town, which I gotta be honest, I would not have handled this as well as Joel. Like, I get it, Joel is grief stricken and just like can't live with what he's done. But oh, there's no way I'm getting embarrassed in front of the whole town. Like, no way. No way. But Joel handled it really well, I thought. He's just like, okay. And then leaves. Ellie then dips out. We see Joel on the porch playing the guitar, and we think Ellie's going to go talk to him, but she does not.
Step aside.
She just goes to her little garage next to Joel's house that she's living in right now. And that's pretty much, well, that's not the end of the episode. We then see a bunch of party goers leaving the New Year's Eve celebration, and they're carrying sparklers, and they throw one next to the big pipe that Dina was working on, and it turns out there are some tendrils. So the cordyceps virus is in Jackson. It's in the pipes. That one specific pipe. I don't think it's like in the water supply or anything. It's in that one specific pipe, and that's bad, to put it mildly.
You're mine.
So it's in the pipe. In the episode, it pans out and shows. This is something I also forgot. So the way the cordyceps works in the game or in the show is a little different than in the game, I believe. So it's all connected. So the tendrils, by them like it's showing them like coming towards the camera. The tendrils are basically doing is like alerting all the other infected, like, hey, there's people here. Let's go. Let's run up on them. So that is very concerning about Jackson. I don't know what's going to happen there, but it's got me concerned. We'll say that. Next thing we see is Abby's crew rolling up. We see them in the night. They see the lights in the horizon, which are Jackson. And then the episode ends. Now, they've made some like pretty, I wouldn't say big deviations from the game so far, but they've definitely changed it up. Like, it's not going to be the same as the game, obviously. I am excited to see where we go, but we only have 7 episodes, and there's like lots of story beats we need to get through. So I'm not even sure how far we're going to get this season. Now, I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I don't know. It was a good episode. I didn't think it was like fantastic by any means, but every episode doesn't have to be great. I thought it was perfectly fine to start the season, and I'm excited to see what happens next week. But that's pretty much all I got on episode 1 of season 2 of The Last of Us. So we'll recap episode 2 next week.